better late than never, but we have finally updated the tier list for NIKKE when it comes to Cinderella and Grave. So today's topic, of course, is going to be talking a little bit about what's going on with the tier list, where these two beautiful girls are placed at, and in general our last opinion for both Cinderella and Grave. As usual, before we start, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm your favorite gambling addict, Sefhi. Today's topic, updated tier list and final verdict for both Cinderella and Grave. Amazing units. One of them is completely broken on everything but hard campaign push when it comes to like big CP deficits, and the other it's a really strong buffer and one of the strongest buffers, but as you see, she is 0.5 rather than 0, and we'll talk about why in a second. So before we start, leave a like, subscribe, and let's start with Cinderella if you guys want, and why she is on balance, even though when it comes to high deficit, she is still weaker compared to Red Hood and Scarlet Black Shadow. So Cinderella is arguably the strongest DPS in the game right now, right? When it comes to pure damage, whatever she's dishing out is stupid, and she doesn't have any weird conditions of, oh, you need a specific character in the game, right? She's not like SBS where you need Alice. She's not dependent on anything. She is just broken. Her only downside, other than of course being a pilgrim and needing a lot of investment, is that if you are pushing under really heavy CP deficits on hard mode, you are not going to be using Cinderella over Black Shadow or over even a Red Hood. Those two are still better for those high deficit gaps rather than Cindy, because she doesn't hit as hard, which is a pity, but still, she's an amazing character. She does deserve to be on the balance tier, just because, once again, how strong she is. We can open her page, we can go into the pros and cons, and as you can see, right, manual and beginner friendly, plug and play, in contrast to something like Black Shadow or Red Hood, because Black Shadow has this weird delay, small delay on their shots, and then Red Hood is not friendly for new players because they will get confused with her burst, which happens a lot, right? Even a low investment, she's out-damaging most of the characters in the game. Her max HP buff on skill 2 is perfect for her synergy on skill 1, also important, but she doesn't need HP buffers, even though, of course, Rogue is gonna be like the best B1 to pair with her, but she doesn't need her in order to become OP. She's just already really good. Also, her decoy, finally, it's a good decoy, because the only other decoys we had in the game, which is Ray and Delta, are really bad, really weak decoys, and it's like, I don't like this. And then the book that she was released with, now it's a feature, because Shift Up made that book into a feature and compensated us with some extra freebies, which is great, can't complain about that. That's it about Cinderella, right? Let's move a little bit into Grave and why she's 0.5 rather than T0, which some people might be like, oh, I expected her to be higher. And she is an amazing B2, an amazing buffer, but similar to other units, she works better when we're talking about a specific niche. So for example, just like the Killer Wife, right? You may be thinking, oh, but the Killer Wife is on T0 and Grave is on 0.5, but their usage is different because the value of cooldown reduction is a lot higher than other type of builds right now in the game, and she provides both the Killer Wife. So let's move into Grave and why she's T0.5, and we'll go into the pros and cons, of course, right here. And as you can see, let's start with the cons if you want in this case, right? A Pilgrim unit, so as usual, either you get her now or you're gonna be out of luck for a year maybe if you're unlucky. And then the other thing that's a con, but it's not confirmed yet, is that both skill 1 and skill 2 have some weird interactions, which we don't know if it's a bug, we don't know if it's intended, because Shift Up has not said anything as usual. In fact, remember that the solo raid is still booked, but people have not said anything. If you want more information on this, I recommend go watching Sky's video on the topic where he's talking about this, all right? And then her pros, of course, is that even though she is pierce damage focused, most of the meta characters we have in the game, if you go into the tier list, most of our meta DPSs do have pierce. A lot of them are using pierce if you go into balance T0 and 0.5. So that makes her even more usable. Insane burst generation as well, by the way. It's stupid how fast your rotations are going to be thanks to her skill 1. It's literally stupid. And then she's a supporter that can also be a sub DPS depending on the type of content, and overall for elemental content you wanna 100% use her, right? And then lastly, outside of pierce teams, she's still one of the strongest B2 buffers thanks to the attack damage. So remember that when we're talking about her burst, she's giving you a 48% attack damage. Another con also could be like high investment, since you want to be going like 10-4-10 or a 10-7-10, depending if you want to go sub DPS or just pure support. But overall, that's why we're putting her so far on a 0.5. Maybe we might be moving her to T0 after we run even more tests, but for now, I think that's a fair place to be putting her. I prefer to put things a little bit lower, then move them up, rather than put something too high and then have to move them down because we did not do enough testing. That said though, I think for now the tier list is on a good spot, and when it comes to most of the placements, there is still some stuff on the bottom of the tier list that I might go and balance a little bit, move around up and down some of these characters, but for the most part, I'm happy with how it's turning out to be. There are some characters for the treasures that are not in the tier list because I don't think it's worth putting them. And I know some people will disagree, but the reality is that if we talk about treasures, right, and you talk about Diesel, and you talk about Frima, it's just not worth building them. It's not gonna change much using them or not. So for now, only Exia, Lapras, and Viper are in there. That said though, it's gonna be for this video, just a quick update on the tier list and where we have positioned both Grave and Cindy. As usual, bossos, have a great day, good luck with your pool generates, come back later, we're gonna be live playing some Grand Saga and Gachas, and see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。